My name's Emma Clark, 25 years old in 2017, fresh out of grad school and bursting with excitement to start my career as an art teacher at a Title I elementary school in Bristol, England. The job was perfect. I could walk to work, my students were creative sparks, and I was ready to make a difference. But my principal, Diane Foster, turned it into a nightmare, piling on impossible schedules, refusing support, and plotting to fire me. She thought she could crush me. Instead, I outsmarted her, exposed her shady deals, and watched her resign in disgrace. This is how I turned the tables and came out on top. It all kicked off in August 2017, a week before the school year. I was eager to set up my classroom, but hit a wall. Diane and her office staff ignored my calls and emails about keys and badge. Desperate, I contacted the district office, who sorted it. 2 days before school, Diane emailed, chastising me for impatience and bypassing her. I swallowed my frustration, got my keys, and entered my classroom. A storage disaster. Desks stacked high, 8 filing cabinets. Over 100 chairs crammed in. I was stunned but determined. With Mike, our incredible custodian, I cleared it in 3 grueling days, ready for my kids. First hurdle, cleared. Day 1 of school brought chaos. I hadn't received my teaching schedule, when or which classes I'd teach. I emailed Diane, politely asking. Her reply? Stop pressuring and bullying me. Bullying? I was floored, but apologized, stressing I needed the schedule. At 8:10 a.m., as kids swarmed the halls, it arrived. I stared, horrified. 2 classes at once, 46 students in my tiny room, 7 45-minute periods daily, every class every day, with a 30-minute lunch on lunch duty. Our school had 14 classes, kindergarten to 6th, and this was impossible. I asked Diane to adjust it, citing lost teaching time. She barged into my room, kids waiting outside, and snapped, "You're a first-year teacher. You don't know what you need. Deal with it or quit." I'm stubborn as hell. Quitting wasn't happening, but the schedule was brutal. To plan, grade, manage referrals, and contact parents. I was at school from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. weekdays, plus weekends. My room, barely 500 square feet, was a safety hazard with 46 kids, art supplies, and easels. I scoured the district's teacher contract and found gold. Classes over 30 students required an educational assistant. 6 weeks in, drowning, I presented this to Diane. No budget. She sneered. Make do or leave. I cited the contract again. She laughed, daring me to quit. I poured my heart into my students, their comic books and movie posters bursting with creativity, but I was breaking. My first evaluation loomed, and I braced for disaster. Shockingly, Diane gave me satisfactory across the board. I was relieved, blind to her trap. Weeks later, I hit my limit. I called our union, explaining the double classes were unsafe and unsustainable. They vowed to act, but weeks dragged with no change. I felt trapped, betrayed by a system that didn't care. Thanksgiving week offered a breather. I joined a potluck with old mates, including Tom and his new husband, Robert. Over wine, I vented about my amazing students, but groaned about the double classes. 46 kids, 45 minutes, no time to teach properly. Robert's eyebrow shot up. Which school? I named it, thinking nothing. Monday, Diane stormed into my room at 8:05 a.m., screaming, "How dare you go to my boss?" She threatened to fire me, ruin my career, her face purple. I was dazed until Robert called, revealing he was Diane's supervising administrator. My offhand complaint had hit the top. By Friday's staff meeting, the schedule was fixed. 1 class, 1 hour, twice weekly. It was magic. Kids blossomed. I could plan during the day, and I left by 4 p.m., sane again. But Diane doubled down. She stalked my room, observing unannounced, her glare chilling. Worse, some bubbly students arrived teary, whispering, "I don't want you to go." I reassured them, "I'm staying. You're the best kids ever." It kept happening, raising my suspicions. Before Christmas break, Diane and her lackey, our union rep, strutted in. "You're on a teacher support plan," Diane smirked. "We'll decide if your contract's renewed." I was gutted. The rep giggled, trailing Diane out. At home, I read the plan. Vague performance issues, contradicting my evaluation. It was a setup to axe me. Fury replaced shock. Diane wasn't just lazy. She was evil. I vowed revenge. Over break, Tom and Robert invited me for cocktails. I wanted to avoid school talk, but Robert asked if things were better. Hesitant, I admitted Diane's threats and the support plan. "I'm her boss," he said. "What's going on?" My jaw hit the floor. Tom urged me to spill. I did. Diane's threats, her constant observations, her late arrivals, 7:45 a.m. contract hours, yet she'd show up at 9:30, once at noon. I revealed her deal with Greg, her live-in boyfriend, who ran after-school care, charging parents for a district-funded free program. Robert's face turned from concern to rage. "Tell me everything," he said. I laid it all bare. They were speechless, promising action. Back at school, I launched my plan. Phase 1, evidence. Some kids said Diane told them to give Miss Clark trouble because I was leaving. I asked one, Liam, to draw a comic about her words, ending it his way. He was thrilled. Phase 2, I emailed Robert, citing my contract's right to another administrator at support plan observations. "I want you," I wrote. He replied, "Done. Don't tell Diane." Phase 3. I reported Diane's tardiness to Robert. She'd stroll in late. I'd call. He'd visit, noting her absence. Once he brought HR at 9 a.m., Diane was missing. Phase 4. I targeted Greg's scam. I told late pickup parents about the free after-school program, handing out flyers I'd made with district links. Word spread. Parents, livid they'd paid Greg, erupted at a PTA meeting. I made sure Diane knew I'd started it. Investigations rained down. District auditors, central office admins, even the union playing hero. Robert had my support plan erased, barred Diane from evaluating me, and axed Greg's contract, installing a district provider. My classes soared. My students' comics, dazzling. Diane's final move came in June. "No budget for an art teacher," she said. "Find another job." I laughed. "My position's state-funded, Diane, not your call." I walked out, hearing her slam her desk, swearing. At the year-end talent show, Liam shared his comic, Diane urging him to disrupt my class, ending with the art hero uniting students, the angry principal leaving. Parents, already furious about Greg, lost it. One hurled a shoe as Diane rushed the stage to stop him. On the last day, she announced her resignation over the intercom, claiming she was needed elsewhere, adding she'd miss almost all of us. I smirked. She was done. 2 years later, I checked LinkedIn. Diane landed an admin job an hour away, lasted a year, then demoted to teaching English in another district. Her career was toast. I stayed, teaching art, my students' joy fueling me. Robert mentored me, ensuring I thrived. Liam's comic ended with happiness filling the school. He nailed it. Diane thought she could sabotage me, turn my kids against me, and shield her corruption. I used her lies, her laziness, and her scams to bury her. That shoe flying at her. Pure justice. Thanks, Diane. You taught me how to fight and win. So, what do you think of my story? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear how you'd have handled a boss like Diane.